Another week of Dragon League games. I am your color caster tonight, Primus, alongside BroMar here, providing your play-by-play casting. How are you doing tonight, BroMar?
I'm doing pretty good. It's going to be exciting because today we have number one team in the Dragon League. It's going to be on red side. Tip and the Tipables, uh, who are number one in the rankings, going up against number three, random number generator.
And no, we will not call them RNG because I believe that is still copyrighted.
Yeah, we can't do that. But random number generator, number three, last week had a pretty good showing. Tip and the Tipables, top of the league, and they've just been doing real well against their opposition. So it looks
Couple
like,
picks, not to cut you off. A couple picks I'm looking at is definitely the Poppy pick for both of these top laners. It is their strongest pick between the two of them. Both of them have very high mastery ratings on Poppy. Going to be interesting to see if they want to take that off the table or if random number generator is going to look to first pick that Farosh or Rolsh. I don't know how we want to pronounce that, but definitely going to be interesting to see how the ban phase goes because outside of Poppy, Roche really struggles on top laners. Like his Maokai and Shen have been hit and miss. He's more of a support player, as we are seeing a lot of bans towards that mid lane because neither top laner plays gangplank.
yeah, and Roik on random number generator, gonna pick what looks like hovering over Diana, but I don't think he's gonna take that Diana top. I think that's gonna be their jungler's pick.
Hey, I've had to play against before. It's nothing to sneeze at.
Oh,
But blind picking it's a bit risky.
oh, definitely. It looks like they did lock in that Fiddlesticks, so I'm expecting a Fiddlesticks jungle out of this LeBlanc again.
Yay, bug champ select. I can't see champions. Got it, boys. Love it.
All
I
right,
mean,
so
it's still going through. I just don't know what champions are being picked and hovered right now. So this is fantastic. So, Fiddlesticks jungle, not really such a great pick right now. It does still provide a lot of pressure at level 6. There's a lot of unique gank paths you can take once you hit that point. However, if he loses that blue buff, it's almost impossible for him to clear right now.
and it looks like Octomage locks in that Maokai top lane, and
That's surprising because I would think he would want to take the Poppy away from Rolsh, or Roy, or however we're pronouncing his name.
I believe
Given
it's
the
Roik.
fact that Roy, considering that is his strongest top laner, and when he hasn't had that available, he hasn't really had a ton of success. So, giving the option to pick the Poppy, which does have a very good matchup into the Maokai, because I mean, I've just played this matchup on Tuesday, and I ruffle stomped this Poppy.
Yeah,
Because the thing about Maokai is he doesn't really do very well against champions who can heavily chunk him with burst.
right.
Which is why he struggles against things like Rumble, Kennen, both in that Poppy's in there. But these more sustained matchups is what favors Maokai because he has better sustain than almost any top laner due to stat magic.
And it looks like random number generator did take the Poppy, and they also took a Nautilus. So I'm expecting that Nautilus support coming in
Could
to
be
be
Nautilus
pretty
jungle
handy.
with Fiddlesticks support though. You can't
It could be.
discount. It's unlikely, but it is possible.
And
Nautilus support's not really as good as it used to be just because with the way the meta is right now. It does really struggle against against the range supports, which are all the rage right now. That Karma he struggles against. He struggles against Zyra, Malzahar. He struggles against all those picks. He does always have the all-in potential, but in terms of straight just how the lane goes, he loses because he struggles with the same things that all melee supports struggle with. Is you can't really do much.
yeah, and it's looking like That's gonna be a Jin on. Excuse me. Choking up here. Tip and the Tipables did take Jin, but Varus is picked on random number generator. They also picked a Janna support for that Jin, so that long range poke from.
Okay, so it is Varus, Fiddlesticks, Nautilus, Poppy, and a Janna. Or is Janna on the Jin
Oh,
team?
okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so on random number generator, who have finally picked all their champions, Roik in top lane is going to be I'm sorry,
Poppy.
not Poppy. Fiddlesticks going to this LeBlanc again. Schlid is going to be playing as Syndra.
Okay. It's just
And-
like, as I said, I can't see champions right now, so it doesn't matter because we left Champ Select. What was the last pick for Tip and the Tipables?
I could not catch that. I did. I
Didn't
missed
get
that.
locked in, I'm assuming. So we had Poppy, Fiddlesticks, Syndra, Varus, and Nautilus. On the other side, we had Maokai, Jin, Janna, and what was the other one?
I lost track.
Okay, whatever. There, yeah, there was one other pick there. I can't remember because again, I can't see it. So
Right. So, meanwhile, we'll have to wait as they repick all the champions that they have once again, and all the bans that they took.
yeah, just quickly trying to rehash these bans, trying to get us into the game as soon as possible. Hoping everyone just picks their own champions until the end, just so that way we can get the Champ Select over as quickly as possible. That way we can hurry up and get into game, because I know people don't want to hear us talk about Champ Select all night. I'm pretty sure they want to see some actual League of Legends action.
Who doesn't want to see action? Think about it.
I mean, I watched a Diamond team play a Challenger Series quality team on Sunday, and there was 100 kills in 50 minutes.
That's pretty exciting. A lot of fun. Not really. when something
I didn't
gives
have
that.
to cast it, so I thoroughly enjoyed it.
All right, so it looks like Tipable did pick up Akali as their last pick, or Slightmore picked up Akali for Tipable.
Akali into Syndra.
Yeah, that's gonna
I don't
be
think Akali likes that match.
that's gonna be a tough time for Tipable there. I'm not expecting it.
Although Syndra can't really stop Akali post 6, but the thing is about Syndra, she presses R and you still die.
Right.
Unless you have Zanya's. Which is the funniest thing, is that Zanya's literally the best way to stop yourself from dying to a Syndra. Because you literally just Zanya's her ulti and laugh.
Right, exactly. Alright, so everyone has picked their champions, and it looks like for random number generator on blue side, we will have Roik in top lane playing Poppy. This LeBlanc again on Kha'Zix. Schlid. Wait, did they not have Fiddlesticks? I'm guessing those were placeholder picks. I'm gonna pretend that's what happened, because I believe they did have Fiddlesticks earlier, so I'm guessing that was a placeholder pick.
Okay, so they swapped Fiddlesticks out for what?
Kha'Zix.
Kha'Zix, yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Okay, and Schlid on Syndra. Meanwhile, on Varus is gonna be I'm Dyslexic. And Hupalicious playing support as Nautilus on blue side for random number generator. Meanwhile, on red side, it's gonna be Octomage in top lane playing Maokai. C9 Rei Ayanami as Graves jungle. Meanwhile, Tipable playing the Akali mid. Zaxcent was with the Jin in ADC. And Slightmore playing the Janna. So, what do you think with these rosters?
In terms of composition, just looking at the two team compositions, I favor random number generators composition. It's much more of a traditional style composition, minus the Nautilus support, but Varus top tier ADC right now. Kha'Zix probably considered the best jungler right now, along with Graves. Those are pretty much the top two junglers right now on the meta. Syndra's a bit farther down the tier list. She's probably in that tier 2 range for mid laners, but obviously a very solid pick if you have the ability to play that champion. Poppy, in my opinion, she's the third best tank right now. She is, because the thing about Poppy, which is what makes her so much stronger than the other tanks, is she excels at disengage. It is extremely difficult to engage on a team with Poppy if the Poppy knows how to play properly.
Yeah, that ult actually can knock you all the way back down lane.
That and Steadfast Presence pretty much cockblocks both Ayanami. I'm just going to call him Ayanami. I'm not going to read his full name just because it's way too long.
I think you can call him Ray.
Or Ray. Ray or Ayanami on the Graves, and Tipable on the Akali. Blocks the... crap, I'm brain farting on a Z. Quick Draw. Quick Draw and the Shadow Dash from Akali. Both of those get stopped by Steadfast Presence. And you have a Janna support who's not super meta right now. It's basically, okay, I don't want to do anything in this lane. I just want to sit back and not do anything. I don't really like Janna with Jhin. I feel like it's kind of a hit mismatch of a lane. Yes, the extra AD on that 4-shot is fantastic. But outside of that, there's really not a ton of synergy between Janna and Jhin. It's really hard for Janna to set up anything for Jhin in terms of laning phase kills. Just because she can't really walk up in Tornado, and that's her best ability to set up a deadly flourish and the follow-up damage. So it does keep the Jhin safe, but the problem is the only person who's really going to be diving on Jhin is going to be Kha'Zix. Because Nautilus should only be getting onto the front line. Poppy should be worried about disengaging. And Syndra just has to press R. Like, as long as Syndra has 4 to 5 balls to ult, she's got plenty of damage to one-shot Jhin at any stage of the game. Like, even through Janna.
Well, it looks like we're loading into the game, and we'll find out how this goes for Tip and the Tipables with that little bit.
Although I will always say, I should probably preface this, is the reason why I'm saying it's not as good of a competition for Tip and the Tipables is because it's not a very meta composition. However, if it's what they're comfortable playing, that's far more valuable than playing a meta composition.
That is very true.
Yeah, if you're comfortable on something, that is so much more important than picking something just because it's meta.
Well, we'll see how that goes while we wait for the loading. Who do you think is gonna break out this game? What do you think? Is it gonna be? I have a feeling it's gonna be I'm Dyslexic. I've seen him play, and he can definitely do some pretty good work. I think I'm gonna favor I'm Dyslexic. Gonna be doing some work this game. What do you think?
Tipable in the mid lane, the namesake, is definitely something we should keep an eye on, because he did take teleport, which means he has significant more map presence, meaning it is very easy for them to run a 1-3-1 with Maokai in a sideline, with Tipable and Akali in a side lane. And he does have Master 7, so he does play the champion a lot. He may not necessarily be good at the champion, but he does play the champion, so there's always that. But my concern is, like, Syndra just has so much burst damage that unless he's very good about getting his Twilight Shrouds off, it doesn't really matter, because he's just going to die.
Right.
Because he's going to get stunned, then he's going to get hit with the true damage, and then he's going to get ulted, and he's just going to be a sad Akali. In the bot lane, though, I would definitely give a lot of the early game pressure to I'm Dyslexic and Hupalicious, because Varus poke at any stage of the game is not fun to deal with. Level 1, that piercing arrow does 130 damage, not counting lethality or armor reduction or any of that. So that's a lot of damage level 1, plus all the CC within Nautilus's kit. And it's really hard for Janna to stop Nautilus engage.
Alright, and it looks like we're loaded in. We will find out how this goes for game 1 of Random Number Generator versus Tip and the Tipables. Right now we're just seeing a pretty normal start here. No one doing anything adventurous for now. This LeBlanc again going a little bit farther down to the river, but I think overall it looks like to be a pretty standard leash start for everybody.
Yeah, no need to risk anything level 1. Nautilus, one of the stronger level 1 champions in the game because of that long-range dredge slide. Followed up with the passive from Staggering Blows, just able to output a lot of CC at level 1 as we're getting the BM from this LeBlanc again. I'm sorry, this LeBlanc again. You are playing a bug, you are not playing Lulu or Lux, so you are not annoying.
Alright, so what do you think this LeBlanc again needs to do to kind of... Uh-oh, looks like there's a disconnection from Tipable there. But, so it looks like we'll have a pause to start out the game.
Pause OP.
Right? But what do you think? Is this LeBlanc again going to be very effective in this game? What do you think he has to do?
Easy ganks against Akali. So that's probably his best lane to gank early game. Bot lane's always a good option, especially because Jhin actually went with the Doran's Blade rather than going with the Longsword start, which is what I'm Dyslexic did. Longsword start is becoming more popular due to the extra potions, due to getting that early lethality even sooner. So that's been coming a lot more into the meta. Especially with the Janna support, I would have almost preferred him seeing Longsword. Doran's is fine because it does give you significantly more trade potential. Because with the Doran's Blade, you get a little bit of extra AD plus extra lifesteal on hit. While if you're just going Longsword, you get 10 attack damage versus 8 attack damage, but you're also getting 80 health. So that extra health is the biggest difference. But when you consider that effectively Varus has an extra 165 health times 2, so that's an extra 330 health he has to go through with his potions, and especially with biscuits on top of that. So effectively he has 4 times as much HP in terms of what his items give him, as opposed to what Jhin has with just the Doran's Blade. Although that is a little bit less due to him having potions. But it's still by preference. I would say on lethality champions, going with a longsword is your better bet in most scenarios, unless you know you're going to get kills.
Yeah, so looks like they've gone through about 3 minutes of their pause time, so I believe they have another 2 minutes of pause time. Or I'm sorry, they went through 2 minutes.
I believe
of pause
it's
time.
7 minutes. I could be wrong.
I believe I'm pretty sure it's 5. I think they get 5 minutes total of pause time per side. So looks like Tip and Tipables will have to about 2.5 more minutes with the timer counting down still. It's I believe three pauses or 5 minutes total, whichever one first. So hopefully they get that resolved in the meanwhile. And we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, the thing for Ray is his only lane he can gank is top lane, and it's a tank matchup. So while yes, Maokai does set up ganks very well, getting your tank ahead especially against the composition that has been drafted by random number generator, is putting you at a lot of risk, because that's 3 damage sources, all of which are really high damage, because Maokai can't stop piercing arrows from hitting his backline, and when it's just a Maokai by himself, that Maokai still dies pretty darn quick. Because if his backline can't follow up, like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to see, and I think Octomage is gonna have a tough time taking all that damage, because he's the only tank. You're right. He's the only one tanky enough who can kind of.
I mean, Grades gets pseudo tanky from True Grit, but
yeah, but that's not
it's
to the point.
not enough.
Yeah, it's not to the point where having a Poppy and a Nautilus coming at you is going to be enough. So he's going to have to position really well.
Nautilus, so it's not going to be an unkillable Nautilus.
No, it's not, but it's still a lot more tankiness than what's provided by just a Maokai. But we'll have to wait and see, as we're still waiting on the pause timer to.
Well, it was the pause. Oh, PC issues. So apparently someone's having PC issues right now. Understandable in this level of play, so it's not a huge deal going on.
Yeah, we'll just... Oh, it looks like the issue looks to have been resolved. Game has been on pause and gameplay will resume. Yay. We're back in business, boys.
Hey, guitar guy, time for some League of Legends.
So for those of you just joining us today, we're looking at random number generator versus Tip and the Tipables, game 1. Looks like a pretty standard leash here. This LeBlanc again going for his red buff. Ray is gonna clear out wolves and blue buff. So, but it looks like this LeBlanc again is going straight to his wolf instead of going to blue buff after doing red.
No, he's still doing wolves. So he went red to wolves to blue is his path. And Graves, one of the really nice things about Graves is his sustain and AoE wave clear makes it really easy for him to clear camps early. Quick note, first Drake of the game is an Infernal Drake, so we're definitely going to see a lot of pressure around that dragon. However, it's not like we have big level 6 spiking champions outside of mid lane. Because yes, Varus and Jin do very well at level 6. It's not like a Rumble level 6, a Cannon level 6. So while it is still very strong, it's not like a high damage. Ray
coming in with that little poke on Schlid, trying to do a little bit of work, but
good sidestep getting on the other side of the wall by Schlid, avoiding that big burst from end of the line. Nice heroic charge.
Yeah, this LeBlanc again is going to try and make a play, because it looks like Tipable isn't back yet, so Ray's going to just have to hold mid while this LeBlanc again kind of goes through his jungle. So, well, it looks like it might be a 4v5, unfortunately, for Tip and Tipables here.
Yeah, 4v5s are never a fun time.
No, they are not. I'm sure everyone here who's watching at home.
5-man party in the bot lane.
Right? Just run it down. Run it down,
bot, guys.
I'm sure it's worth it. Oh, just misses the heroic charge there. Just missing that corner of the wall. Unfortunately, hitboxes are a thing.
And Nautilus can't hook through walls, unfortunately.
No, he cannot. That's why you should be playing Blitz, guys.
Or Thresh.
Or Thresh. I prefer Blitz because, you know, nothing tilts you more than being brought over to.
Uh-oh.
Looks like Ray Ayanami is gonna come up for that gank, but Roik flashes to get away.
He does have red buff. Can he get in range for that auto though?
And this block coming in for the counter gank, getting quite a bit of damage on Ray. He might stay in. Yep, it looks like this block again is gonna stay in that topside jungle to try and possibly kill Ray. I think I think this is a little bit too much. He went a little bit too deep here because it looks like Octomage is going in, and First Blood does go to Ray. This Blanc again just went a little bit too far without the help of Roy.
Communication with. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that it seemed to be a miscommunication between Roy and this LeBlanc again, because the thing is, this LeBlanc again was down a full level to the Graves, so he's still down combat stats despite being ahead in HP. So it's still a really, really risky play for him to go for in that scenario.
So Schlid is gonna just push the wave in. There's no way any Tip and Tipables have any response for that, as Tipable is still disconnected, unfortunately. So he's just gonna get a free back and pick up some items here. And let's see. Looks like he picks up his last chapter.
Yeah, early lost start. I think they're. Oh, I just realized that Tipple actually never connected.
Did he never reconnect? So it looks like he's just
it's a 4v5 right now.
4v5.
Yeah, it's my bad. I should have been paying attention to that. So.
Yeah. So it looks like I'm Dyslexic and Hupalicious are gonna back, and Zaxxant already backed and picked up that Serrated Dirk, so I'm Dyslexic.
Something I briefly want to talk about is the a lot of the high elo ADCs have been actually not going tier and have been getting the lethality first and then going into tier, because the thing about Varus is it takes him so long to stack the tier because he really only has 2 abilities to stack it with, both of which are on long cooldowns. So getting the earlier lethality is more cost effective, but it does delay your tier power spike, which, although for Varus isn't a huge deal, because you're not really getting a lot of auto attacks, because if you're Varus, you're going to be wanting to stay at close to max pierce arrow range. You don't really want to be auto attacking anyone unless it is the Poppy or the Nautilus.
Yeah, it looks like Octomage poking pretty well, but running a little bit low on mana. A little bit of skirmishing going on. Ray and Schlid gonna try and fight it out there in mid, but looks like this LeBlanc again is gonna make his way towards the bot side bush and possibly try and fight Ray with Schlid.
Well,
and he jumps in, makes a leap, and Ray uses ult to try and get away. Oh, Schlid mispositioning, going a little bit too far in there. Gets caught out, and Ray gets the kill.
I think he was trying to go for the unleashed power, but I don't know if he just misjudged the range. As typical, does finally reconnect, maybe. It says he's reconnected, but until I see him move from base. Yep, he does.
Yep, he's back. So Typical is back. We've got a 5v5 on our hands now, finally.
Yeah, but he is down.
Roik misses
so many levels.
the ult there. Octomage is low, but Roik unfortunately missing the ult could have possibly gotten a little bit more damage onto him and pushed him out of it.
It would have been a possible kill scenario.
I don't think it would have been a kill scenario per se. I feel like it would have probably at least pushed Octomage back a little bit more to play a little bit more cautiously. And now Roik is just low on mana and health. Octomage can just kind of sit on that and heal. Flash coming out of Tipable, obviously only level 1. She can't safely farm as a Kali against a level 7 Syndra.
Really safely farm as a Kali even when you're even levels.
True, that's very true. But not having level 6 is quite a disadvantage. Octomage does activate his Maelstrom here, but this LeBlanc again leaping in, misses the spikes, but trying to chase down Octomage, catches him with the Q execute. Ooh.
One thing I want to talk about is this LeBlanc again actually evolved his Void spikes first. He didn't go for the Taste Their Fear upgrade first, which is what we generally see, and then they get the Void Rex upgrade at level 11. So definitely looking to try to get a lot more ganks off with that isolated boost to their slow.
Yeah, and looks like this LeBlanc and Ray are gonna get into a little fight in mid lane, but getting bursted by that Graves there. Wow, just that goes to tell you when you have your fully completed jungle item can be pretty hard when you're just sitting on the incomplete parts. I believe this LeBlanc only had the 2 halves of the jungle item and not Warrior's Enchant. So,
yeah, not having the Warrior's Champ is a significant difference in terms of your overall damage. I believe it is a 25 damage boost. Getting the full combine plus the extra lethality.
Schlitt is kind of out of the way there. Ray is going to chase him down. Misses on the ult there. Oh, what a waste. What a waste. But Schlitt does get away with no flash. Doesn't even burn it because it was down. Octomage and Roik getting into a little scrap here in top lane. In the river here. But Roik being Poppy can kind of ignore quite a bit of damage from Octomage.
Yeah, though he is going... I usually get 8 early Spectres in this matchup. Just to really stop the Maokai from trading effectively with me.
Yeah, and this LeBlanc again, and Tipable getting into a fight here. Tipable was isolated, but this LeBlanc again not doing enough damage there. And almost dies to Graves.
No collateral damage to secure the kill available, so very fortunate for this LeBlanc again. I'm not sure how comfortable he is on this pick. I feel like it's just... He's trying to force a lot of plays. He is farming very well, but in relative to the Graves, but he's just not making a lot of effective ganks happen at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's down by a couple CS, not too much, but as Octomage gets knocked back by Roik.
It does add up, though.
It does add up, that is very true. Meanwhile, Roik is actually fairly low, having taken quite a bit of poke from...
As I said, this is why I go the early Spectre Scout. It makes it a lot easier for you in this lane as Poppy.
Yeah, and it looks like Ray a little bit far ahead, but Hubblicious getting poked out quite a bit. But unfortunately, Zaxxant misses his last shot on the ult there. Unfortunately, just could not get that last hit onto Hubblicious. Hubblicious was pretty close to dying there, but Schlid gets the first Tower Blood and will get the kill on Tipables, I believe. If
no, he
does get away. Oh, he does. Dies to the
R.I.P. in peace, boys. That's what that is. That's R.I.P. in peace, boys.
Quite unfortunate as Tipable shadow dashes over the wall onto Chicken Camp, but Chicken Camp does quite a bit of damage if you are not aware. Don't mess with chickens, boys.
You just don't go to that camp. You just avoid that camp at all costs as a laner.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you have a laner who has good AoE clear, you can do it, but Kali doesn't have as much.
Well, she was trying to get away, so I can kind of understand it.
Yeah, but if you saw Schlid kind of walking away, I feel like you could have just stayed back there and just ran towards this tier 2 tower. I'm dyslexic poking out Zaxxant. Ray is back to repeat gank. Dyslexic does have flash, so he's a little bit safer. But Hubblicious is out of summoners. But nothing happens as Ray cannot get there in time to put on the hurt on I'm Dyslexic.
Good disengage using the Change of Corruption there. By I'm Dyslexic, just negating that whole gank because Helpalicious does not have exhaust or flash available, so
Roik and Octomage again. Once again, getting into a little scrap here. Yeah, Roik doesn't have the Spirit Visage to negate that. Distelbach again leaps in, uses the spikes to try and slow him down. Roik tanking the turret here. That is gonna possibly be a double kill for Octomage, and it is. Twisting Advance kind of just making things hard for Distelbach.
I think he twisted advance the heroic charge and negated that. I think so. I could be wrong though.
I think he did, and that's what caught Roik up in the tower's range and kept him in there enough to get the kill on Roik. And then Distelbach again just staying too long after the fight was lost, trying to get the kill on Octomage and just waste it down.
But this Maokai is getting very far ahead. He's up 30 CS, up 2 kills now. Not really in a good spot for the side of random number generator. Because while yes, they do have a significant amount of damage on their team,
Ray Ayami almost gets it with collateral damage. Almost leaves him with about maybe a quarter of his health, but maybe less than that. Tipable and Schlid getting into a fight, but Schlid can't get the kill on the Tipable. Tipable runs away and escapes, but Octomage also getting in there. Here's a little skirmish. Tipable getting the Shadow Dash onto Schlid.
That's literally
survives.
single-digit HP.
Yeah,
So
survives that little fight there, 2v3. Roik almost killing Tipable, but manages to get away. And Zaxxent is alone as Swipe more.
Why is he not going to change?
And
Flash ults.
Zaxxent is gonna get ulted by Helpalicious, and Helpalicious gets the kill. I feel like that could have been played a little bit better there, don't you think?
He could have just gone for the change from regular range and he would have been just fine. Because there was no summoners left onto Zaxxent. They still got the kill though, so not horrible, it's just not as good as it could be. The Inferno Date did go down for the side of Tip and the Tipables, which will help their scaling on all of their damage that they have. Early
and Helpalicious does exhaust Ray to try and delay the fight a little bit. Octomage does come down to get the kill on I'm Dyslexic. Distelbach again trying to hold off them from killing Helpalicious. Roik is coming in, and here we got a 4v3. Ray almost dying, but unfortunately Roik misses that heroic charge. Tipable making his way down from mid lane. In that river bush there, just waiting for an opportunity to flank.
No, I don't.
Is gonna get spotted out, unfortunately.
This is why you ward people, so you don't face check into things like an Akali.
And it is Infernal Drake back up again. So
the double Infernal, definitely something that
Distelbach getting flashed on by Ray. Ray getting the kill, but Schlid throws the ball over the wall to get the kill there. And
one for one trade, both junglers down. But a double kill ending up going over to Tippable.
So I think it's gonna be a dragon for Tippable. Octomage is gonna try and tank as much as he can. I'm not sure why Akali isn't there trying to help, but Tippable thinking he can go over the wall. That wall's a little bit too big, but they get it with not too much issue. Have to alternate tanking there, and Octomage gets away without dying to dragon. And that's 2 Infernal Drakes for Tip and the Tipables. So it looks like Tip and the Tipables living up to their first place standings there. Doing really well with rotations and team fights.
Yeah, their top lane's very far ahead, their bot lane's very far ahead, their jungle's very far ahead. So just a lot of good things going well for Tip and the Tipables right now. Despite how the game started with that 4v5 scenario. but they are playing quite well in all of their lanes at this stage of the play. Even Tipable, who started the game 6 levels behind, is still slowly becoming an Akali. Sitting at 7 stacks on his Arc Seal.
And looks like we've got 2 completed items on Zaxcent. Brushes the Edge of Night and Yomu's Ghostblade without boots. Meanwhile, I'm Dyslectic still sitting on just the Yomu's.
Boots are overrated.
Don't need shoes. Don't need to run anywhere. And this is LeBlanc again, and Roik trying to fight Aquamage, but Ray is there to try and turn the tide in his favor. Roik getting caught by Aquamage's Q. And
Apolysis, you are not tanky enough for this fight.
Not just yet. Still not ready. But Schlid is alone as Octomage, Ray, and Tipable are in mid lane, trying to push that mid tower in and get a little bit more control of the mid section of the map. Schlid is gonna get twisting advanced onto by Octomage. Tipable getting ulted, unfortunately can't get the kill. Schlid doesn't get that kill onto Tipable.
Not quite enough HP.
And it's gonna just be very safe. 1 kill, 1 tower. Twisting advance going on to this LeBlanc again. This LeBlanc again has to flash as the oh, unfortunate. Still in range. Octomage just got caught by that edge of tower shot range. Ray getting caught by Helplicious, but doing plenty of damage and puts Helplicious at about 3rd health. This LeBlanc again is gonna have to try and farm and catch back up. I'm Dyslexic is kind of out of position here. Has to flash over the wall. Almost gets killed by Ray's ult, but Slightmore is gonna ult and try and heal Ray back up. This LeBlanc again, thinking about jumping over, leaps over the wall, gets the kill on the Slightmore, and they clean up 2 for nothing on that fight. Slightmore and Ray going down as they're caught out 4v2 there. Accent being well far behind.
So a little bit of sloppy play coming in on the side of Tip and the Tipables. Not properly sieging up this last tower turret in the bot lane. I'm always of the philosophy is you should focus the low hanging fruit first, as Royce kind of misplays a little bit. Used the hammer shock before he heroic charged.
Tipable getting dueled by Roik, and Roik being a tanky Poppy does get the kill.
Yeah, Poppy doesn't care about your damage. I'm sorry.
Teleport coming in from Octomage to try and catch I'm Dyslexic and Schlid. Schlid is gonna get caught. And the Maelstrom just blows up Schlid very quickly.
Wah, wah, wah.
So they trade 1 kill in top side of the jungle for 2 kills in bot lane.
That dredge line though.
Dredge line lands onto Octomage, and this LeBlanc again trying to do as much damage as he can to Octomage, but Maokai is just tanky. Just ignores it, and it doesn't help that Slightmore is just shielding Octomage very often. Jaina coming in handy there. Like you said, they're not as meta as... Oh, and Ray just throws out
Collateral.
and gets the kill onto this LeBlanc again. This LeBlanc again just not having a very good game here.
Yeah, he's still farming quite well. He just hasn't been able to make a lot of plays happen a lot around the map, which is kind of the struggle point. I'm sorry, Roy. He has his Gunblade now. You can't not duel this Akali anymore.
Yeah, and Typical gets the kill, solo kill onto Roik. Couplicious almost dies. Octomage flashing over the wall to get the kill. He's caught on this other side of the wall, but Maokai being Maokai just walks away. Ray getting poked out by that arrow from I'm Dyslexic. but
yeah,
gonna...
Dyslexic is still a Varus, so you're still gonna have that mid-game spike once he finishes his Edge of Night, where he's gonna be doing a lot of damage to squishies. But if he gets soloed out by Ray, it doesn't really matter.
Right now, this is block again, trying to go in on Tipable. Tipable does get an excellent Twilight Shroud over the wall and tries to get away, manages to get away, while the rest of his team gets the third dragon. That's Cloud Drake.
Blue buff going over to Octomage. Probably the best person to have that blue buff, because Kali doesn't really need blue buff, Jin doesn't really need blue buff. It's nice to have on Graves, but Maokai just benefits it from so much more. The extra CDR plus sustain to help push those waves even faster.
Alright, so Zaxxant trying to farm down that mid lane and poke out Roik, force him back a little bit as he tries to get his team to push down mid there. But I think they're gonna rotate down and he's gonna go clean up that big ol' massive wave in bot lane. Tipable also making his way there, and looks like they're gonna split it up again, giving the wave to Tipable there. What a nice ADC. What a nice ADC, but Zaxxant just being the best teammate. And getting spotted out by the ward. Slightmore has to ult to try and escape, and peels his team off, or peels the random number generator off Zaxxant getting away. Tipable making quick work of Pupalicious. Meanwhile, Zaxxant throws out that curtain call. Octomage just tanking all that damage from I'm Dyslexic. I'm Dyslexic gets poked out by Ray.
Nice timing on that deadly flourish by Zaxxant.
And Zaxxant manages to get away with the help of Slightmore. Slightmore actually played that very well there. Pulls the Kha'Zix away from Zaxxant and lets him kind of try and wait for his team to get back. On cue, Octomage and Ray show up with Tipable on his way, and Tipable
did almost fall in that fight, so he did get extremely low. Again, not able to quite secure the kill onto him, just not quite enough damage yet on the side of random number generator, as they are now down to just one outer turret. They are almost securely cordoned off in their base. There we go. I was trying to think of a word.
Yeah, and there's a pretty big wave actually crashing into top lane, so it looks like that that last outer turret is gonna go down with Tipable, Octomage, and Slightmore going up. They rotate and they get the last outer turret, and random number generator stuck on their inhibitor turrets only. They've just been ceding control of the map everywhere. Well,
it's really hard for them in order to facilitate any plays. The only person who's well farmed on their team right now is I'm Dyslexic on the Varus. Excuse me. In the mid lane, they've kind of fallen behind. Had to get that early Zhonya's for Schlid. Not able to get one of those big AP items, and their tanks just aren't tanky enough to deal with the triple carry comp yet.
And Roik gets twisted advanced on by Octomage. Roik getting pretty low, but manages to survive almost. Oh my goodness! And Pupalicious saving Roik's life with the support item shield. And this is not a very good team fight for Tip and Tipables there. Getting triple kill. Or, I'm sorry, not triple kill, but 3 kills. Gifted.
Yeah, but Ray's still alive.
Ray is still alive, but Schlid, does not get out of the way of that Q by Ray. Ray being chased down by Roik, but being a tanky, oh man, the heroic charge does get the kill. Slightmore trying to kill Roik, but I'm not so sure that's a good idea, especially when you have about no mana left against the
You can
Poppy.
still do it.
You believe in.
I believe in the power of Janna.
Unfortunately, a sloppy play there coming out from Tipables.
Yeah, Tipable got soloed out very early on in that fight. Ate the unleashed power from Cinder, took him very low. They were actually able to secure the kill on him on the side of random number generator. But the issue is the Graves was at full health at the end of that fight and able to clean up. Oh yes, albeit yes, he did eventually die, but he took no damage early on in that fight. I don't know if that's because he was there, but he had very limited focus upon him early on in that team fight.
All right, and looks like Baron has been sitting up for quite some time, but no one's made a play for it just yet. I feel like that play instead of trying to pressure the inhibitor turrets, I feel like they could have made a play for Baron instead.
They have enough damage, and Maokai's tanky enough. They could have easily rotated for Baron before. Because the thing is you have a Akali mid lane and a Graves in a
and Tipable dashing in onto this LeBlanc again, poking. I'm sorry, dashing in repeatedly. Unfortunately, this LeBlanc again can't escape. Ray almost dies to Roik, but Slightmore getting an excellent ult to try and save his life. The redemption comes in, but not in time for Ray as this fight just goes awry for random number generator. That was just, man, back and forth.
One of the carries keeps getting untouched in these team fights, whether it's Zaxxon in that last fight, you had Ray in the fight before that. Just one of these two ADCs continue to get unfocused, not focused, and they just end up cleaning up the team fight because they have a lot of damage between the two of them. You have almost a 5-item Graves, you have a 3.5-item Jhin. That's a lot of damage between those two.
Yeah, and this LeBlanc again can't really do anything as it's just gonna go straight to Tipables. It doesn't get onto Ray though. They didn't leave just enough health and spend a couple more seconds waiting for Ray. So that's gonna be 4 out of 5 with Baron.
Doesn't need Baron.
No one needs Baron, right? Baron's overrated.
Except for when you take Baron and then you get aced and then you just cry in a corner.
Yeah, pretty much. So, looks like this game, unless somehow Tipables just completely just bottle it, looks like it's gonna be their game. They're gonna go onto that Cloud Drake since there's no other objectives they can reliably pressure. The waves haven't been set up just right yet to be pushing in on that top side, but they don't need to, as
mid lane is pushing, Tipable is getting bot lane pushing, so they do have 2 lanes which they can look to rotate in with those minions, which is what will really enable them in order to pressure the inhibitor turrets, because there is a significant amount of wave clear between shield on Syndra and I'm Dyslexic on the Varus.
Yeah, Helplicious is gonna try and
this is how you need to be playing out when you have Baron. You pressure multiple lanes.
Yeah, Helplicious can't hold them off as Tipable just blows up this LeBlanc again, making quick work of them. Unfortunately, Helplicious and Roik are a little bit tankier, so Tipable is gonna have to take his time getting through all that armor and magic resist. But they do get the kill onto Roik. Schlitt does die in mid lane, trying to defend it. And looks like it's gonna be 4, probably gonna be 5 out of, yep, it's gonna be an ace out of Tipables.
And that's probably gonna be game 4 Tipping the Tipables.
Oh, definitely. They've got plenty of time. Death timers, closest one coming up is gonna be 10 seconds on this LeBlanc again. So game 1, going to Tipables. What a game out of Ray.
Yeah, Ray played fantastic on that Graves pick. Really got his team through that early game while Tipable was trying to figure out what was going on with his computer so he could get into this game. Who did end up catching up in CS, did sit in side lanes a lot, so that kind of inflated his CS numbers, but did come back, Despite starting off the game 6 levels down in that mid lane, did play very well on the Akali. And as I said going into the game, I do like the composition that random number generator drafted. The issue is as I said previously, is if you don't know how to play those champions, it doesn't really matter what you draft. While on the other side, you have a much more off-meta composition drafted by the side of Tip and the Tipables, and their familiarity on their champion really showed throughout the performance of that game.
Yeah, so I'm sure you agree here. Game 1 MVP is going to probably go to Ray. I don't. Do you have any other?
Zach Stent deserves an honorable mention. He did play quite well on the Jhin. So he would be my runner-up MVP, but I do believe Ray does deserve to take first Game 1 MVP of the series.
And we'll be looking at Game 2 here shortly as we take a break, and we'll be right back for Game 2 of Random Number Generator versus Tip and the Tipables. This is Dragon League Ascension eSports.